If I could say I have a goal in life, it would be to push or help people to express themselves and be more creative.
Ça, c'est mon papa. Et Maya, c'est ma fille. Quand j'étais à l'autre bout de la planète, je lui ai demandé de me donner des titres d'histoire.
Tiens, donne-moi le titre pour ton prochain dessin animé.
Et j'en ai fait des dessins animés, dont voici la bande-annonce.
So, first of all, Mr. Gondry, your career has started with animation, with the clips you made for your band, Oui Oui. So, in some ways, this new film and creating these stories for your daughter was a way to go back to a more playful dimension of filmmaking.
I don't feel that I left this world. It's true that it was more animated when I did the first videos of my own band, but when I did stuff with Björk, it was very similar. And of course, doing them for Maya makes them special, but I didn't try to be childish. I tried to have the same sense of humor or sense of story. So for me, there is a continuity between both, and maybe they reflect more how I was when I was a kid. But I think I try to keep that all the time.
Well, and with this film and with L'usine de film amateur that you have created, you are always trying to stimulate creativity in the audience. Why is that so important for you?
Aspetta un attimo, prima di continuare,
Iscriviti che è gratis.
commenta che non possiamo far tutto noi
Condividi, mica ti devi divertire da solo.
e salva che ti passa.
I have to say that if I could say I have a goal in life, it would be to push or help people to express themselves and be more creative. Because I see so many people who are they block themselves and they don't think they are creative anymore, and it's a way they are a little bit brainwashed to make the not so fun jobs, and I always try to push them. Like Maya's granddad, he lived, he's an anthropologist and lived many adventures, and I'm pushing him to write a book about them. So always trying to push people to not get stopped by the perfection. This movie, yes, a lot of people showed interest to make their own. So I don't know if a lot will do, but if there is even one, that would be something. So yeah, it reflects myself, but also I think about how people can get inspired to do their own.
Maya, what kind of films do you like to watch with your dad?
I like to watch comedy. It's very funny. The Back to the Future is more
It's a comedy. It's
it's
adventure
comedy.
comedy.
Yeah, adventure. Yeah.
There is maybe a film that your father suggested to you, but you didn't like it?
Well, we began an American in Paris. We stopped it,
We stopped it.
and then I continued it with my mom, and then I liked it. I don't know why, but yeah. So that's it.
So coming back to Mr. Gondry, as in many of your other works, there is a very frequent use of the written, drawn word as a cinematic element. So I would like to know, how does the written word interact with images and become an aesthetic object in your cinema and in this film in particular?
Oh, it's interesting. Nobody talked about that, but it's very important in the film. I try to make the letter on the carton, the board writing, as fun as a story, and I love letters. So I sometimes there is a word that is completely insignificant, and I write it super big, just to show that they are not obstructive. They are not obstructive, they are part of the entertainment. And either in the title or in the middle of the film, I cut out the letters, and I know by heart how to cut the letters so they look decent.
So I imagine that in creating these stories, you were often thinking about your daughter as the primary audience of this film. But speaking more generally, is the thought of the public, of those who will see the film you are creating, something that influences the creation of your works?
Well, it's more the job of the producer, I have to say. I mean, I really think of entertaining myself. I make things that I would like to watch. And in this case, it was for me and for Maya. So I sort of find a common ground to express the story. No, when I did this film, I don't think of the audience. I mean, I assume that if I like them, people will like them too.
On n'a pas dit le titre? Ah oui, non, zut, t'as raison. Maya, donne-moi un titre.
In one scene of the film, we see your character playing the drums at the center of the earth. How has your training as a drummer influenced your filmmaking in terms of rhythm and pace, maybe?
In a way, yes, but it was not always a positive influence. When I started to do videos, I edited them myself. I was too much on the beat. I could not imagine that you could cut too short outside of the beat. So it was kind of heavy. So that's why I started to work with editors, and I realized that they really work for the character and the motion of people more than the rhythm. And the rhythm comes after and works very well. So that was the negative influence. But then there were other videos, like the one for the Chemical Brothers with the train, where my ear of rhythm and drumming came to help. So it's half and half.
Bouteille de ketchup à la mer! Pourvu qu'il n'y ait pas de poisson croque-bouteille dans le coin.
So, Michel, do you think that smartphones have helped in this democratization of cinema, giving everyone the opportunity to make films on their own?
Yes, but mostly for me, it helped at the camera, and it was very convenient. I did my first film like that. Now, most of the time, actually not all the time, but a lot of time, I use the iPhone. But it came with more and more applications that do the work for you. And unfortunately, it's a tool that should allow to make more creative stuff. But it comes with so many ways to do this work that eventually you're not so creative anymore.
Michel, you collaborated again with Jean-Michel Bernard for the soundtrack. How did you work together to recreate the playful nature of these stories through music?
Yes, I try different things. My previous movie, Book of Solution, the composer was an old friend of mine called Etienne Chary, and I didn't want him to watch the film. He never watched one frame of the film. I would send him clips from YouTube with bird flying, a wind in the tree, or a boat sinking in the ocean, earthquake, or whatever, and I asked him to illustrate these things with this music, and then I would just keep the music and put them on the film. And it worked very well. And I just did one. It's a 10-minute little story. And I watched the film on my own, and I sang and recorded my voice, pretending it was the score. So I go, tan, 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 and because he's a very skilled musician, he would reproduce that with his keyboard, and he's going to write part with instrument. So it's a new technique I'm trying.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Maya. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Gondry.